The important first date question. What's your genotype? I see a lot of Twitter handles and people already put that out there. I'm AS, I'm SS, I'm AA.
Hello guys, welcome to Med Corner, a captivating podcast dedicated to exploring the vast and ever-evolving world of health and medicine. I'm Dr. Habila Oxburg and I'm here with my very good friend, Dr. Yahweh. He's a doctor, a senior bachelor, and today we are going to be talking about 5 important tests to carry out before getting married, before saying I do. Please listen. I don't want to come and be hearing, had I known, had it been later. Please jot things down. So, Dr. Yahweh, why are these medical tests important?
Okay, first of all, thank you for selling me out as a, what did you call me? Chief bachelor?
Senior bachelor.
Okay, you're a chief bachelor then. Anyways, thank you guys. So it's very important that we know these tests and people should carry out these tests before walking down the aisle. Just as he said, it's better safe than sorry. Yeah. So you asked why it is important, right? So some might be wondering that if I say I love my spouse,
I love and I trust my spouse.
So why is it important to do this? So I know marriage is a very exciting time, and people may be lost in the euphoria, but it's also very important that people take out time to do this test. It's time to reflect so that you and your partner would be on the same page in the matters of health. And so whatever the results may be, it's better to make informed decisions, and then be better prepared for it. The tests are ordinarily not meant to influence your decision, but to guide your decisions and to make you very, very prepared as you go on to it. So the very first test, I'm sure you've guessed that already, is the genotype. Yes, and this is very, very important, especially if one plans to have children in marriage. Yes, if you don't plan to have children, then the results may really not influence much. But these days, we see people in the hospital that say, I don't plan to have children. And then by the time you get into marriage, the decisions have changed. So I think it's important for everyone to do the genotype first.
That's something I have to commend this generation with, because like nowadays when you see like people getting to know each other, one of the first questions they ask is, what's your genotype?
Exactly. Important first date question. What's your genotype? I see a lot of Twitter handles and people already put that out there. I'm AS, I'm SS, I'm AA. Exactly. So it's very important that people, no matter how many times you've carried out that test before, when it is time to get married, it's good to carry it out again. And I like the fact that some churches have included that in the
counseling programs.
The pre-marriage counseling programs and tests that are needed to be carried out. There are other genotypes, SC, subgenotypes like that, but the major ones are the SS, the AS, and the AA. So it's important that you carry it out before marriage so that you can be better informed, better prepared for the challenges that are going to come. Again, if we're having this podcast, let's say if we're having it like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, would say SS and SS should not marry. AS and AS should not marry, but these days we don't give out that, we don't say that straight, even though we advocate that they don't get married. But there are a lot of options, but we would not be going into the details now. But people should just be guided. They should just take decisions with caution. So do you have anything to add to this?
We can move to the second test that should be carried out, which is the viral markers.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's the
screening for the STDs.
Yes, viral markers, screening for the STDs and the STIs. This is the second test, and it's also very important. Again, this is not about trust. We're not saying you don't trust your partner. That's why you're doing this. But it's important to take this test so that you all know your status and then you can be prepared. Tests like the syphilis screening, gonorrhea screenings that will test for the respective diseases can be treated. They are curable. So it's better to test and then know your status and then treat yourselves. They are completely curable. However, tests like the HIV tests, the HIV, hepatitis, and the rest, some of them, they have lifelong implications. But people go ahead to live completely normal lives. So the fact that your partner get tested and he or she is positive does not mean you should call off the marriage. Yes, and the ball lies in your court, but it doesn't mean you should call off the marriage. There are people living perfectly healthy lives with the antiretroviral medications, hepatitis B, there are vaccinations. If you test and you're negative, it's important that you also take the vaccines. Hepatitis C, there are treatments, effective treatments these days, and people also go ahead to live normal life. So viral markers, STDs, STIs test, very important. So you should take note of that.
I understand that trust is a very important part of love, but we need to understand that trust cannot exist in isolation. It has to be nurtured and fortified by behaviors and actions that demonstrate commitment and accountability. So, I mean, you can't just be behaving anyhow and just expect someone to trust you like that. You have to nurture it and fortify it.
Yes, but that's very correct. I agree totally with you. And marriage is a time that people should approach. It's something that people should approach with openness, they should approach with sincerity and with transparency. That's what would build a solid foundation. And then
you have no choice. You have to be transparent because you are going to be exchanging a lot of fluids and all that. So you have to be as transparent as you can be.
Yeah, I mean, coupled with what's happening these days, people see marriage as not just a union, not just a bliss. For some people, it's transactional. But whatever you see it as, you're going to be living with somebody. You're going to be sharing.
The same principles apply.
Yes, you're going to be living with somebody. The same principles apply. You just need to trust. You just need to have all of this in check. So these tests are very important. And the third test is the blood group test. Genotype is not the only important test. The blood group is also very important. And I'll outline two reasons why the blood group is important. First is that you should know your partner's blood group. I mean, what if there is a need
of emergency?
Yes, and then there's need for you to donate blood.
That shouldn't be the time that
you would now go and
trying to what's your blood group?
It's very wrong. So there are emergency situations that will determine that may need either of you donating blood to the other one, and so it's good to know your blood group compatibility at that time. And secondly is for blood group incompatibility between a mother and her unborn baby. So there are different blood groups. I don't also go into that. ABO blood group systems, and then there's the rhesus compatibility systems. But you should know this before you get married. If your husband is having like a rhesus positive, you're having a rhesus negative, that is very, very important because there's something called the hemolytic disease of the newborn. You don't want your baby to come out and then your blood is fighting against your baby's own. That can be very, very fatal. So,
which is very preventable.
Exactly, very preventable. There are things that we just do and then it's completely preventable. But first is that you know it. So the blood group is also a very, very important test to know before saying I do. Exactly.
Yeah, another important test is the fertility test. I mean, one of the main reasons people get married is to have children, to have offspring.
I disagree.
I didn't say it's the most important. It's one of the most important reasons.
Okay, yeah, especially in this, especially in the African context, the African society, that offsprings, children are seen as blessings from God. I mean, that's what they are. And for some people, it's the only reason why they're settling down. So the fertility test is also very important. But again, some people might frown at this and say, why should you go and do that?
I mean, the fertility test is not like the test is to see if you pass or fail to disqualify the person from getting married. I mean, there are some causes of infertility that can be reversed, that can be treated. So, if you know about your fertility status, your doctor would be able to have a management plan for you that would be able to help you to have those children that you want.
Yes, and then generally when people hear fertility, they are just looking at the woman side. They said it's the fault of the female.
Fault of the female.
Fertility issues, fertility generally is a double. It's a double.
In fact, the statistics is 40% women, 40% man.
Exactly, and then 40% for no.
40% woman, 40% man,
then
and 20%
for both.
Yeah.
So there, if you do the maths, there's usually like a 0.1% that is left unknown.
Yeah.
So it's fertility. Fertility is something for everybody. So for men, they'll usually do the sperm analysis to check if the sperm cells are motile, to check if the sperm count is adequate, to check if they are of normal shapes, normal sizes, and they are moving fast. Then for females, there are a number of them: the pelvic scans, abdominal scans, hormonal profile, and generally these are the tests to check. And then, as you said, it's for people to be better prepared of what they are going into, and then so that interventions can also begin to be put in place. In a particular society in Nigeria, I'm not going to mention the tribe, the test for fertility is pregnancy. They say you have to
be pregnant
before you get married. We're not going to comment much on that, but there are a lot of ethno-religious sentiments about this.
There are better ways to test for fertility.
You don't have to go all the way.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. So the fertility tests that are recommended and should be taken. So this is the fourth one, right?
Yeah. So the last one.
The last but not the least, and the people will be surprised at this, but it is also very, very important. Mental health assessment.
Very important.
And genetic testing.
Very important.
Yes. You don't want to get married to somebody and in the middle of the night.
Both of you are meant, you don't know.
Exactly. We're not discriminating, but it's good to go for mental health assessment. You should know the personality, and this is done by professionals. They know the personality of your spouse. They know how if she gets angry easily. They know the stressors. They know how she reacts to extreme emotions.
And if there's any illness, then there'll be appropriate management that follows.
Exactly. So apart from that, we also talked about the genetic composition. A lot of genetic diseases. It's also important to know if your partner is a carrier of any genetic disease and to take necessary steps ahead. A lot of gene mutations that people have, but these are silent. They don't get to manifest until it's time for you to have children. So these tests generally are very, very important. So, Augsburg, last words?
Last words is always mostly the same. Prevention is better than cure. I mean, as little as it sounds, it plays a very big role. Prevention is better than cure.
Again, I'm going to say carrying out these tests is not a lack of trust. And it's not lack of your trust in your spouse or your trust in God. That's not what it means. It just means that you're trying to get prepared. You're trying to get ahead of the challenges that may come. You're trying to be on the same page, the same status with your partner, and to prepare at all levels. So, guys, get tested before you say I do. Before you walk down that aisle, get all there are so many of them, but we outlined these 5, and we think they are very, very important for people to know. There are a lot of hospitals around doing this, and
lots of hospitals even have like packages that come at discounted prices instead of like doing them single.
Exactly. So you don't know your partner until you all have.
You know your partner.
Guys, thank you very much for coming. So make sure you drop comments, you drop questions, you drop anything you want to find out in the comment section.
Yeah.
So guys, make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you do all the tests before you say I do. Remember, as Augsburg would say, you don't know your partner until you know your partner. Bye.
See you in the next episode. Thank you, guys.